and he correct himself, who? Dawood al-Islam. So here we see in ayah number 26, we'll continue here. So ayah number 26 about Dawood al-Islam. Ya Dawood inna ja'alnaka khalifatan fil ardi. We said, O Dawood, indeed we have made you successor upon the earth. So judge between the people in truth, and do not follow your own desire, as it will lead you astray from the way of Allah. وَلَا تَتَّبِعِ الْهَوَى فَيُضِلَّكَ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. This is something that we need to mark for ourselves also. If you follow your desire, it will lead you astray. So it will not let you remain on the Allah's path. Indeed, those who go astray from the way of Allah will have a severe punishment for having forgotten the day of account. Because when a person pursues his desire, when he forgets Akhirah, when he will forget the Akhirah, then he will do wrong. This will ultimately lead to the punishment. That's what here meant, ayah number 26, Surah Sad. So when you get carried away in this world and you forget the Akhirah, what's going to happen? The end result will be bad, because this life is how much? Maybe a few years. Some has more, some has less. Whatever Allah has written in our destiny, that's how much we gonna live. When time comes, we gonna go. So we said to Dawood, indeed we have made you successor upon the earth. So judge between the people in truth, and do not follow your own desire, as it will lead you astray from the way of Allah. Indeed, those who go astray from the way of Allah will have a severe punishment for having forgotten the day of account. Ayah number 27 to 30, Surah Sad, we are doing juz number 23. And we did not create the heaven and earth and that between them aimlessly. That is the assumption of those who disbelieve. So woe to those who disbelieve from the fire. Or should we treat those who believe and do righteous deeds like the corruptors in the land? Or should we treat them, those who fear Allah, like the wicked? Means no way, they are not gonna end up the same way, right? Righteous and wicked person. Ayah number 29, this is a blessed book. Kitabun anzalnahu ilayka mubarakun. This is the blessed book which we have revealed to you. So all of it is blessed. Why we have revealed it to you? Liyadabbaru ayatihi, so that they might reflect upon its verses. Which verses? Verses of the Quran. Then after reflection, what? Just admire the beauty of the Quran, because this is what many people find joy in, that just reading the book after book or listen to the lecture. This was meant like try to understand the word meaning and translation, then implement, then waliyat the zakkara ulil albab, then those of understanding would be reminded. Yani, this is the purpose of the book, that we take lesson, we remember its teaching, its message, and follow them. The Quran, remember, it's not just to impress, just buying the Quran and admiring it and putting in a nice cover. Remember, learning Quran, it's a means for dunya and akhirah success. Perfecting the recitation of Quran, memorizing it, and the ultimate goal is to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Al-Quranu hujjatun laka aw alayka. The Quran will be an argument for you or against you. So how we treat the Quran, like we are just reading it to show the other people, or we are reading, understanding it so that we can implement and successful in both the world. It's up to us how we take it. If either argues for you that oh Allah, hilhi, adorn it, oh Allah, zidhu, give him more, oh Allah, be pleased with him. Either the Quran will argue for you or it will argue against you. So we don't want the Quran arguing against us. So we see in this ayah that Quran is Mubarak, meaning every single verse of the Quran is Mubarak. Mubarak means blessed. How? That every ayah of the Quran, either it guides you to something good or it stops you from something harmful, or it brings some kind of benefit in this life or in the next life. So there is nothing in this world that is as blessed as Quran. Every single ayah, and this is why even when you recite Alif Lam Mim, you get rewarded. So this is Quran is Mubarak. We think that the blessing of Quran is that when a girl is getting married and leaving her house, you put the Quran up and you make her walk under it. No, that's not it. And you put Mus'haf nice cover, or you put Mus'haf under your pillow. No, that's not it. Or you keep the copy of the Quran in your car for the Mubarak. Quran is Mubarak. How? When you recite it, when you reflect upon it, when you implement it. So derive the full blessing from the Quran. Mm, this Quran is for all of us. We're gonna read it, understand it. Soon after mentioning about Dawood al-Islam, the making the Khalifa, then mention about Wama khalaqna sama wal arda wama bainahum batilan, and then it is mentioned about Quran, like we did not create heaven and earth, the and that between him aimlessly. So we are creating. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying zalika zannul lazina kafaru, that is assumption of those who disbelieve, and woe to those disbelief will have the fire. And ayah number 28 and 29, or should we treat those who believe and do righteous deeds like the corruptors in the land, or should we treat those who fear Allah like the wicked? Both are not equivalent, isn't it? And ayah number 29, what we learn, kitabun anzalnahu ilayka, this is a blessed book, which is this book which is Quran, and we have revealed to you, that is Mubarakun, it is blessed, liyadabbaru ayatihi, so that they reflect upon its ayahs, waliyatazakkara ulil albab, and so that those of understanding would be reminded. So this is the purpose of the Quran, that it is meant to be recited, it is meant to reflect upon it, understand, act upon it. How is it possible that we benefit from the book of Allah? We don't even open it. We have to open it, we have to read it, we have to know its meaning. It's not just learn its meaning, but also reflect on the Quran. We think that studying the Quran is a goal, and once we have completed the study of Quran from Suratul Fatiha to Nas, we do the Ameen ceremony and then we keep it. Many children, they forget after that, and many people, like they do Talimul Quran, the whole course you learn word to word, translation, tafsir, different books you learn, Quran and Sunnah. After that you leave it and you forget. This is like a never ending journey. You have to continuously try hard and you have to do it. And to Dawood we gave Suleiman, an excellent servant. Now mentioning about Suleiman al-Islam in ayah number 30, Surah As-Sad. And notice how at the end of previous ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلِيَتَذَكَّرَ ulil albab. So the intelligent one is who remembers the book. He remembers the book in his mind, on his tongue, in his action. And to Dawood al-Islam we gave Suleiman. So an excellent servant. Indeed, he was one repeatedly returning back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Mentioned when they were exhibited before him in the afternoon the poised standing race horses, meaning in the evening his horses were brought to him, displayed before him so that he could see them. The horses were made to march in front of him, and he said, indeed, I have loved these good things for the remembrance of my Lord. Meaning, the more I look at these things, the more I remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yani, I love this wealth for the sake of Allah. Why? Because these horses, when I look at them, they increase me in gratitude, shukr towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They increase me in the zikr, yani remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So here we need to see what is it which grows in me, my love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because Sulaiman al-Islam, he is growing in his remembrance of Allah by just looking at the things like horses. Hatta tawarat bil hijab, until the horses galloped away going out of sight, meaning they galloped away until they were out of sight. And what happened? Sulaiman al-Islam admiring them, remembering Allah, increasing in his remembrance of Allah. So what we see, like even he has given so much when Allah says Wahabna li Dawood Sulaiman, and Dawood we gave Sulaiman his son an excellent servant. Indeed, he was one repeatedly turning back to Allah, just like Dawood al-Islam repeatedly turning to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So as Sulaiman al-Islam, and mentioned when they were exhibited before him in the afternoon, they poised the standing race horses. And he said, indeed, I gave preference to the love of good things over the remembrance of my Lord until the horse galloped away, yani going out of sight. Meaning, he said, I love these horses for the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I like them because they remind me of Allah. I like them because of Allah. Allah gave these horses to me. They are beautiful. Their strength remind me of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's favors on me. Like, can you realize Sulaiman al-Islam has given such a good blessing of horses, beautiful horses. Have you ever seen horses, how beautiful they look? You admire them. Even though he's admiring them and he's repeatedly saying, I give shukr, I give gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because another way of, thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he's keep on admiring. We learn in a hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said, goodness is tied to the forelocks of the horses until the day of resurrection. There is a blessing in horses. Sulaiman al-Islam loved horses. Even Prophet ﷺ loved horses. In a hadith, we learn how he was twisting the forelock of a horse with his fingers and he was admiring the horse. And he also said that rub the horse on the forehead and pray for barakah for them, and do not tie thin ropes around their necks because that will hurt them. Yani even for the animals, you have to be careful. You can't hurt the animals. In ayah number 33, Surah Sad, he said, return then to me and set about striking their legs and necks. Means, or he was passing his head over there, passing his hand, I mean to say, legs and necks. You know how we love the animal, so how we pass our hand over the pet, the same way he was doing to the horses, meaning he began patting them. And we certainly tried Suleiman and placed on his throne a body. Then he returned. It is said that, he wanted a child who would inherit from him. And he did have a child, but that child was, half paralyzed. So he turned back to Allah. And remember, sometimes, when we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala something, we don't exactly get what we ask for. Even that, that is teaching us something. It's not that Allah has rejected you. Allah does not care about you. No, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decided that particular result for you, because there is something you need to learn from that experience. So Sulaiman al-Islam learned. Summa anab. He returned back to Allah. He said, my Lord, forgive me and grant me a kingdom just such as will not belong to anyone after me. Indeed, you are a bestower. You are Wahhab. You see, he asked for forgiveness before he asked for kingdom. Why? Because for the righteous servant, Saleh servant, forgiveness, maghfirah is more important than the things of this world. Because the things of this world, they will come to an end. When we need forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so no matter what a righteous person has of this world, their deen, in their ibadah, their relationship with Allah is utmost importance to them. So this dua was accepted, and no one got the power and ability that Sulaiman al-Islam was given. Look at how he was thankful. So here we learn in ayah number 33, Surah Sad, he said, return them to me. And he said about passing his hand over their legs and necks, meaning he was appreciating those horses, admiring them, and he was keep on, praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But ayah number 34 and 35, what we learn, وَلَقَدْ فَتَنَّا سُلَيْمَانَ وَأَلْقَيْنَا عَلَى كُرْسِهِ جَسَدًا Summa anab, and we certainly tried Suleiman and placed on his throne a body. Then he returned. He said, O my Lord, forgive me and grant me a kingdom such as will not belong to anyone after me. Indeed, you are a bestower. So Sulaiman al-Islam throne, his chair, what happened? A body was placed on it. What was the body? Allahu Alam. This has been interpreted in different ways. But again, what we see here is that by looking at the body of Sulaiman al-Islam, realized his own mistake. Whatever that body was, he found something on his chair, and because of that, he recognized his mistake now. The details of that body, Allah has not told us about, but what has told us about is the fact that Sulaiman al-Islam remember his mistake just like Dawood al-Islam. And this is true for us also. Things happen in our lives and details don't really matter. What matters is, do we reflect on our action? Do we remember and notice and recognize our mistake? Are we that honest with ourselves that we recognize our mistake? Because sometimes children tell us about our mistake, that the way they speak in front of us, they remind us how we speak. The way they behave remind us how we behave. This is something that should really make us repent to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is what Sulaiman al-Islam did. What is Dawood al-Islam did previously? The same thing. Sulaiman al-Islam prayed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said, Oh Allah, grant me a kingdom that is so unique. It will not be given to anyone after me. Indeed, you are Wahhab. Yani there is no limit to what you can ask to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sulaiman al-Islam was asking, give me unique kingdom, unmatched kingdom. You are Wahhab. Look at the iman, faith that he has in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah you can give with the determination you make dua. You know, like how the things were mentioned over here, even though Allah is testing us, never stop asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for good. Allah can give you. Never stop asking to Allah. Allah can give you anything you ask for. So here's the same thing we learn, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given this, and he was being a faithful servant of Allah. He's being very nice, and he's asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the kingdom like no one has got it before. So he got that such a kingdom, and he's appreciating Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he's appreciating even the creation, and he's being very thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we learn how he is being so kind and so good. His father also was this kind and very good and down to earth. The same way we learn about uh, Sulaiman al-Islam. So Sulaiman al-Islam also very kind and very thankful and very down to earth, and whenever they get anything, they are thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are being very kind. Then when people get anything in this world, they become arrogant. But here you have seen Sulaiman al-Islam and Dawood al-Islam, they are getting the nema one after another, but they are being very thankful. They are not arrogant at any time. They are being very kind to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They keep on thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah has given us so much. So we should also do the same thing. We should thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah has given us so much. Look at around us, what not Allah has given. Are we thankful or are we not thankful? This kufr, like not being thankful also, it's not kufr in your iman, but not being thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So here, whether Dawood al-Islam or Sulaiman al-Islam, how they have given the blessing. So he said, Rabbi firli wa habli mulka la yambaghi li ahadim min ba'di innaka antal wahhab. He said, my Lord, forgive me and bestow upon me a kingdom that such as shall not belong to any other after me. Verily you are a bestower. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Wahhab, the attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we subjected to him the wind. It blew gently by his order, whithersoever he will. So فَسَخَّرَنَا لَهُ رِيحَ تَجْرِي بِأَمْرِهِ رُخَّأً Haisu asab. So we subjected to him the wind. It blew according and was shayatina kulla mana'u wa qawas. And also shaitan, devils from the jinn, including every kind of builder and diver, and also other bounds in the fetters. وَآخَرِينَ مُقَرَّنِينَ فِي الْأَصْفَادِ. Allah said to Sulaiman al-Islam, this is our gift, so spend you or withhold, no account will be asked for. هَذَا أَتَاؤُنَا فَأَمْنٌ أَوْ أَمْسِكْ بِغَيْرِ حِسَابٍ. Allah said to Sulaiman al-Islam, and verily for him is a near access to us and good final return to Jannah. Wa inna lahu indana la zulfa wa husnu ma'ab. So till here is mentioned about Sulaiman al-Islam. So let's see the detail of this. After making dua, after being thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ayah number 36 we see, we subjected to him the wind blowing by his command gently wherever he directed, and also the devils of the jinn, every builder and diver, and other bounds together in shackles. So even had control authority over jinn. We said this is our gift, so grant or withhold without account. Meaning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him blessing. He also gave him power, authority to do whatever he wanted. And indeed for him is the nearness to us and as a good place of return. So Allah has given so much blessing to him till ayah number 40 about Sulaiman al-Islam. Then the topic changes. So we're going to just complete ayah number 40. That's it. So quickly from ayah number 37, what we learn, the devils, jinn, every builder and diver, and other bound together in shackle. Like, with the Amr, the whatever Sulaiman al-Islam would order them, they would do that, jinn and shayateen. And we said, means Allah gave Sulaiman al-Islam gift. So grant or withhold without account, meaning no measure, no restriction for you, for Sulaiman al-Islam. So do what you please, all of this at your service. Wa inna lahu indana la zulfa wa husnu ma'ab. And indeed for him is nearness to us and good place to return. You see the story of the prophets, they really deserve contemplation and what were their lives like. However, their personality, why Allah chose them, for what qualities, what work Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took from them, and what He blessed them with in the world, even with every prophet, is an unusual miracle. Why? Because of their ikhlas, the sincerity of Allah, like they